Welcome to Gospel Glow. Today, we're diving into the book of Deuteronomy chapters 5 and 6 to uncover timeless truths about love, obedience, and faith. These chapters are filled with wisdom that can guide us towards a deeper relationship with God and a more fulfilling life. You see, the words spoken in Deuteronomy aren't just ancient scriptures, they're living, breathing instructions for us today. They remind us that God desires our love, our obedience, and our unwavering faith. He longs for us to experience the fullness of life that comes from following His ways. So let's open our hearts and minds as we journey through these powerful chapters together. Let's allow God's word to speak to us, to challenge us, and to transform us from the inside out. Let's get started. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verses 7 to 10 tells us, "You shall have no other gods before me." Friends, God desires to be first in our lives. Not second, not third, but first. He deserves our wholehearted devotion. Why? Because He is the one true God, the creator of the universe, the source of all love and life. When we put Him first, when we make Him the center of our lives, everything else falls into place. It doesn't mean life will be perfect or without challenges, but it does mean that we face those challenges with God by our side, with His strength guiding us and His love sustaining us. So let's commit to putting God first in everything we do. Let's make Him our priority, our focus, our everything. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verses 8 to 10 warns us against idolatry. Now you might think, idols? I don't worship statues. But friends, idols can take many forms in our modern world. Anything that we prioritize over God, be it money, success, possessions, even relationships, can become an idol in our lives. These things aren't inherently bad, but when they take God's rightful place in our hearts, they become stumbling blocks on our spiritual journey. We're called to live lives of purpose and intentionality, to keep our eyes fixed on what truly matters, our relationship with God. Let's examine our hearts and ask ourselves, what am I placing above God in my life? Let's break free from the chains of idolatry and experience the freedom that comes from worshiping the one true God with all our hearts. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 11 tells us, "You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God." Friends, God's name is holy and sacred. It represents His power, His authority, and His unconditional love for us. When we use His name carelessly, disrespectfully, or in anger, we diminish the reverence and honor that His name deserves. Our words have power, and we should use them to uplift, to encourage, and to reflect God's love. Let our speech be seasoned with grace, kindness, and respect, especially when it comes to speaking about God. Let's honor His name in everything we do and say. Chapter 4. Remember the Sabbath. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verses 12 to 15 reminds us of the importance of the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. God instructs us. In the busyness of life, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle, to let work and obligations consume our every thought. But God, in His infinite wisdom, gave us the gift of the Sabbath, a day of rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. It's a time to disconnect from the world and reconnect with our Creator. It's a time to spend with loved ones, to recharge our batteries, and to simply be present in the moment. Honoring the Sabbath is not just a suggestion, it's a commandment. So let's make a conscious effort to set aside time each week to rest and recharge, to reconnect with God and with ourselves. Chapter 5. Honor your parents. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 16 tells us, "Honor your father and your mother." This commandment speaks volumes about the importance of family and the respect we owe to those who raised us. Our parents, though imperfect, play a vital role in our lives. They provide for us, care for us, and shape us into the individuals we are today. Honoring them doesn't mean we always agree with them or that we condone their mistakes. It means we treat them with respect, kindness, and appreciation for all they've done. It means we show them love and gratitude even when it's difficult. Let's strive to honor our parents, to strengthen our family bonds, and to build a legacy of love and respect that will extend for generations to come. Chapter 6. Do not murder. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 17 states clearly, "You shall not murder." This commandment is a cornerstone of a just and compassionate society. Life is precious, a gift from God, and we are called to treat it with the utmost respect. We are called to be peacemakers, to stand up for justice, and to protect the sanctity of life in all its forms. Violence and hatred have no place in a world created by a God of love. Let's be instruments of peace, spreading kindness, compassion, and understanding wherever we go. Chapter 7 Deuteronomy 5:18 tells us, "You shall not commit adultery." Marriage is a sacred covenant, a bond between a man and a woman blessed by God. It's a relationship built on love, trust, and unwavering commitment. When we stay true to our marriage vows, we honor God and strengthen the foundation of our families. Fidelity is not just about physical faithfulness, it's about emotional and spiritual faithfulness as well. It's about guarding our hearts, nurturing our relationships, and making our marriages a priority. Let's strive to build strong, loving, and faithful marriages that reflect God's heart. Chapter 8, Deuteronomy 5:19 states, "You shall not steal." Honesty and integrity are essential qualities in building a just and equitable society. When we steal, we not only take something that doesn't belong to us, but we also erode trust and create division. God calls us to be people of integrity, to be honest in our dealings, and to work hard for what we have. Let's strive to be trustworthy individuals who value fairness, honesty, and respect for others' property. Let's build a world where integrity and honesty are the norm, not the exception. Chapter 9. Deuteronomy 5:20 instructs us, "You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor." Our words have the power to build up or tear down, to heal or to hurt. God calls us to be truthful in all our interactions, to speak words that are honest, kind, and uplifting. When we spread gossip, rumors, or lies, we damage reputations and create discord. Let's be peacemakers, bridge builders, and truth tellers. Let's use our words to encourage, to inspire, and to reflect the love of God. Chapter 10. Contentment. Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 21 reminds us, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male or female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor." Friends, contentment is a heart issue. It's about finding joy and gratitude in what we have, rather than constantly longing for what we lack. Coveting leads to discontentment, envy, and a lack of gratitude. When we focus on God's blessings in our lives, when we appreciate the good things we've been given, we open ourselves up to a life of true fulfillment. Let's cultivate hearts of contentment, appreciating the blessings in our lives and finding joy in the present moment. Chapter 11. Love God wholeheartedly. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 5 tells us, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength." Friends, this is the greatest commandment of all. It's a call to love God with every fiber of our being, with our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. When we truly love God, it transforms every aspect of our lives. It influences our relationships, our work, our priorities, and our purpose. It's a love that knows no bounds, a love that seeks to please God in all things. Let's strive to love God with the same passion and intensity that He loves us. Chapter 12. Teach God's commands. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 6 through 9 emphasize the importance of passing on our faith to future generations. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts, God tells us. Impress them on your children. Friends, we have a responsibility to teach our children about God's love, His word, and His plan for their lives. We are called to be spiritual mentors, to guide them, to nurture their faith, and to help them grow in their relationship with God. It's not about forcing our beliefs on them, but rather creating a loving and supportive environment where they can explore their faith and discover God's truth for themselves. Let's be intentional about raising our children in the ways of the Lord, equipping them with the tools they need to live godly and fulfilling lives. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 10 to 15 remind us of the importance of remembering God's faithfulness. When the Lord your God brings you into the land He swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you a land with large, flourishing cities you did not build, God says, be careful that you do not forget the Lord. Friends, it's easy to forget God's blessings when life is good, to take His provision for granted. But when we remember His faithfulness in the past, it strengthens our faith for the future. It reminds us that He is always with us, that He will never leave us or forsake us, and that He is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Let's cultivate hearts of gratitude, remembering God's goodness and giving thanks for His faithfulness in our lives. Chapter 14. A firm warning against idolatry. Deuteronomy 6:14-15 warns us again against the dangers of idolatry. Do not follow other gods, the gods of the peoples around you, God commands, for the Lord your God who is among you is a jealous God. Friends, God's jealousy is not like human jealousy. It's not rooted in insecurity or fear. Rather, it's a reflection of his deep love for us and his desire for our hearts to be fully his. He knows that turning to other gods will only lead to emptiness and pain. He longs for us to experience the fullness of life that comes from worshiping him alone. Let's be vigilant in guarding our hearts against idolatry, recognizing that true fulfillment and joy are found only in a relationship with the one true God. Chapter 15. Obey God's commands. Deuteronomy 6:17-19 emphasizes the importance of obedience. Be careful to follow every command I am giving you today, God instructs us. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight. Friends, obedience is not about following a set of rules out of obligation or fear. It's about surrendering our will to God's will, trusting that He knows what's best for us. When we obey God's commands, we demonstrate our love for Him. We show Him that we trust Him, that we value His guidance, and that we desire to live in a way that pleases Him. Obedience is not always easy, but it's always worth it. It's the path to true freedom, joy, and fulfillment. Let's strive to be obedient children of God, following His commands not out of duty, but out of love and gratitude for all He's done for us. Chapter 16. Passing on the torch of faith. Deuteronomy 6:20-25 reminds us that our faith is not just for us. It's a legacy to be passed down to future generations. In the future, when your son asks you, "What is the meaning of the stipulations, decrees, and laws the Lord our God has commanded you?" God says, tell him, friends, we have a responsibility to share our faith with our children and grandchildren, to tell them about God's love, His faithfulness, and His power. We are called to be spiritual mentors, to guide them, to nurture their faith, and to help them grow in their relationship with God. It's not about forcing our beliefs on them, but rather creating a loving and supportive environment where they can explore their faith and discover God's truth for themselves. Let's be intentional about raising our children in the ways of the Lord, equipping them with the tools they need to live godly and fulfilling lives. Let's pass on the torch of faith, ensuring that God's love continues to shine brightly for generations to come. Until next time on Gospel Glow. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Deuteronomy 5 and 6. Remember to prioritize God, teach others, and always be grateful for His goodness. As we go about our week, let's carry these truths in our hearts, allowing God's Word to guide our steps and shape our lives. Let's love God with all our hearts, obey His commands, and share His love with those around us. For more inspiring videos, share, and subscribe to Gospel Glow. See you next time.